I know my videos caused an uproar about Steve Harvey and what's been happening of lately. It was even shocking to Steve. Steve was like, we thought we were, on the same page to, making progress to go down this road. And they just blindsided him when they were telling him his show was being replaced, the Steve show. And then he lost his hosting gig with Big Shots. Now there's rumors that he's going to lose, Family Feud, and they're going to have Michael Strahan come in and replace him. It's a lot. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, what is going on here with Steve? Steve was the fifth highest paid television host in 2018. He made a lot of money. He's very expensive, and he's 62. So they could base it off, well, the ratings is this, and we kind of want to give a refresh look. That's what NBC sold them. But I'm here to tell you what Steve's next move. To say Steve wasn't crushed by this or it didn't bother him, it bothered him. It bothered him. But let me tell you what's been happening since those moments in time. Since those moments in time has happened, here's the reality to that situation. Family Feud hadn't been determined yet. Okay, so right now, technically, all we could do is speculate on what's going to happen with Family Feud. The Family Feud show is still going on in its time slot. Will Steve still be a host? We don't know yet for sure. Which I mean is that there's not been any publicized or release from the companies or the press. So we're not going to make that jump all the way there and start speculating on that. Now, as far as his television show, Steve comes on as part of an NBC deal. Okay, the NBCU to be exact. And what the NBCU is doing is basically saying they're going in a younger direction with the Kelly Clarkson show because they feel Kelly's going to bring in a lot of viewership, to that time slot. And they're trying to get fresh, get new hip. And since she's been on American Idol and everything else, they feel she's more in tune with her audience. Her audience have grown with her. Before she used to have a younger audience. Now that younger audience have now turned to 25, 26, 27-year old who stay at home. They're housewives and they would love to see Kelly Clarkson in that time slot. But it was a surprise because Harvey thought he was coming back when NBC Universe told him. He said, I thought I was coming back until they made an announcement a couple of weeks ago that they wanted to give Kelly Clarkson the NBC O&O networks, and that's his slot. And that's what he's like, those are my slots. So for the rest of you guys who don't understand how this works, Steve is a produced show by Steve Harvey. So the show will be shown until June, on to the end of June. In fall, they will start with the Kelly Clarkson show. Steve, that's the name of that show that he produces. He can move it anywhere now that they're not going to remove it. So that means he could take the Steve show and go and shop it on different networks. Steve and IMG, they both, produce the show. So various syndication, cable streaming, other broadcast networks can basically pitch their want to do the Steve show or pick up the show. He's free. So from what we've been told, Steve Harvey has a lot of options on the table, and they're very confident that the Steve Show will find a home after this season or after this year, that it will come back on another network. So he hasn't lost his show. He lost the slot. He still owns the show. They still got it. It's just that they're replacing his show on NBC. So that's happening. Now, let's go to Little Big Shots. Little Big Shots, and this is what's happening here, is a shakeup with Melissa McCarthy. Now, what they wanted to do is to replace the host and give a new, fresh look at ABC. That's what they call it. Now, Ellen DeGeneres and Steve Harvey came together to produce this show, Little Big Shot. And it was back in 2016. So Steve, from what I've told, him and Ellen DeGeneres are still producers. They just don't want Steve hosting anymore. They want to give a younger, fresher look with Melissa McCarthy, who's 48. So Steve is still going to be a producer of the show and will still get a check from producing it, from what I've been told. Now, I don't know if they're going to phase him out as a producer, but Ellen DeGeneres, she's still there, from what I've been told. Nobody talks about replacing her as a producer. So I don't know on that one. You know, that's ABC, but this is what we know. Steve is a producer and a co-creator of the show. And that they're only replacing him as the host. They're choosing to have another host come in and do Little Big Shot. So these are the facts of the case right now. And if you're Steve, you're 62, you put in a lot of work. This should free up a lot of time for you to do other things. You're not handcuffed at any, at any state. You know, he is going to take a financial blow by this, but, restructuring, he's been selling properties. It's a lot of things transitioning in his life. And a lot of people saying, good for him. I don't root for black people downfall like that. I just, it's tough enough as it is. And he don't need my help. So, with that being said, it's your boy Carcino. I'm out. Now you have the full explanation on Steve's next moves. Don't forget to support the page if you can. Click the link in the description box. Hit up the Streamlab. Donate to the page. We appreciate the love. And or if you use Cash App, you can hit me up on there. I'm Carcino. And I'm out.